Has the ape figured out technology?
No, let's say apes.
It's okay. We're all apes. That's all right. And I like that. I like
Yeah,
apes.
we're all monkeys in the end.
We're all monkeys in the end.
They are very cool.
Yeah,
We're all
apes are
monkeys
cool.
in the end.
That's it. We
welcome to
are all
Freshly
monkeys in the
Stream
end.
Session 4. We out here.
Is that the name of
Oh,
this
yeah.
episode? We're all monkeys in the end.
We're all monkeys in
We're
the
all
end.
apes in the end.
Oh,
We
we
start out
haven't
as monkeys,
changed.
we'll end as monkeys.
No, we haven't changed from the beginning of time. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, Kiera. Thank you so much for sticking by us, despite everything.
Hell yeah.
Here you are.
We just started late. There's no other reason.
Oh.
And now all my fans are going to start flooding in.
Exactly.
The portal's been opened. It's like Endgame.
Nettelblatters.
Everyone who reads our article.
Oh, to be honest, Jamie Boy's technically more famous than me. Jamie Boy's way more famous than me.
Hell yeah.
I mean, yes, he is. I mean,
yeah, Jamie Boy's like a world.
He's got a million viewers.
He's a world champion Pokemon player.
Is he? Is that true?
Oh.
Is that genuinely
true? Yeah, Jamie's like a pro. Yeah, he's like a pro Pokemon streamer. If you go onto the Pokemon channels, that's him doing all the commentary. World championship to be, hopefully.
Yeah, do us proud, dog.
You're not gaslighting me, are you?
Yes.
No,
no, I'm not kidding you. Not kidding you in the slightest. Jamie Boy, I know him. He does Pokemon things internationally. He had to go away to Hawaii, so I had to rearrange a load of my D&D games because he was in Hawaii.
You didn't plug this.
You think about your D&D friends, huh?
We could have got a James Boss million Pokemon viewers.
3 times regional champion.
Yeah, so a little bit better than you, Dan.
Anyway, I completely railroaded this. Why don't you do the introduction thing and I'll say things about monsters and stuff.
He's shocked. He's shocked and stunned.
No, it's okay. I had to go and get my charger because that was another thing I forgot to do. What's sorry? I was gonna go on my standard pre-game rant.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me. I didn't know that about him, and I feel incredibly guilty. I'm a big Pokemon fan as well. What's it? No, you've completely thrown me off my opening game, and that's on you, Kiera. You should have known better. We came in here with a professional mindset, and you're just dropping these truth bombs on us. Welcome to Freshly Streamed.
I mean, have you taken a look at? Yeah, I was about to say, have you looked at the Freshly Squeezed website where I regularly write blog posts for you, and my title is "The Mother of Monsters."
That's true.
It is, and you will be delighted to find out I have themed my question around that knowledge of you already.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hello everyone. This is Juicebox, episode 004. I'm Ethan at Ethan Well Actor. As always, I'm here with Daniel Taylor at Daniel Taylor Actor.
Series
and
regular.
As you've seen, we're joined. Yeah, we're joined by freshly squeezed blog extraordinaire, mother of monsters, welching helper, all around legend, Kiera Nettelbladt. Everyone, clapping noise. I don't know if my Discord is picking that up, but I clapped. I was clapping.
I was clapping too.
I was also clapping myself.
Thank you for joining us today, Kiera.
It's
a pleasure to have you. We have in fact met in person. We've discussed this earlier. I forgot that we met in person because I've got the memory of a plum, but we have in fact. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah.
Give me the rundown.
Yeah.
Since I have forgotten that we met, break it down for me a little bit. What are you doing?
Yeah, if this was a video game, what would be like your essential lore?
What are
My
your D&D
social law.
stats?
My D&D stats. Okay, you're talking my language now. So, I am a bard artificer.
Oh,
Okay.
So
that's
high
a
riz,
combination.
high int.
Yes.
For outsiders, int means intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on now.
So I'm all intelligence, all charisma, and not a lot else. If we're going to talk professionally, I am an interdisciplinary artist. So I do.
Oh yeah.
I do acting, I do singing, I do dancing, I do sound and lighting design, I do producing, I do directing, I do writing, I do script consultation, I teach. I've done costume design, I've done all sorts of things, and now I'm here chatting about the secret double life I lead, well, outside of the million other things I do, as a horror writer.
Hell yeah. And this is the peak of your career.
Mm.
This is as good as it gets. I'm sorry.
Like we said to James Ross, famous Pokemon commentator, welcome to the big time. Welcome to the big leagues.
Welcome to the big leagues.
I hope you got your professional suit on and your professional hat. And your
professional song as well.
Mm.
I have seen the professional outfit. It's really cool.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen you in it once or twice, and like it looked professional. It looked very nice.
Mm. Mm.
I think it was. I ran a Dungeons and Dragons session where I had all the players build themselves as D&D characters, and Jamie came as a Beastmaster. I think he was a druid or ranger. I can't remember which, and he came in his full Pokemon regalia with medals and stuff. And I've never felt quite so inadequate.
Mm. Ooh.
Yeah, nothing's gonna make you feel more inadequate than like an actual champion showing up as a champion.
I can imagine I would probably be some sort of barbarian if I was a stat block.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, you would.
I've got that sort of feral ape rage. Pardon me.
You've got that ape-like fury.
Thank you.
Yes.
I like to think I get that across when you first meet me. Mm.
He does. So, Daniel's the kind of fella that will make you believe that evolution exists.
I'll make you believe in Darwinism.
That's a good compliment.
Believe it or not, I have had arguments about evolution with people, but that's not for this podcast.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
For those who aren't familiar with the format, we've all brought in a question for each other. We're going to see how. We're going to get a little bit off topic, so bear with us because we're in rocky waters now. Rocky waters?
Hell yeah.
Waters. We're in wavy waters.
We're deep in the waters. We're on the podcast ship. We're on the SS podcast.
That's right.
And we're Kiera's our first mate. I'm the one with the mop. Dan's the Dan does all the guns, and the water is the conversation.
That's correct.
I have a master's degree.
Would anyone like to start with the first question?
I can go first if you like. It's again very loose, and it's just me, being performative and being like, I engage in media.
Mm.
But if you guys don't mind me going first, of course.
I don't. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. That sounds aggressive. Sure.
Do it now.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Fine. I will. Just shut up. I'll get on with it.
Get on with it.
Okay. Fine. I fucking right.
Go.
What's you're being aggressive to me? I'm just giving your energy back.
Whatever. Move on.
Okay.
Ask your question.
Fine. I will.
Okay.
If you want to get to it.
I know you will because I told you to.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, recently, over the last couple of days, I've been playing a new game that's come out recently for those who aren't aware. It's a game called South of Midnight. It's a game set in the south of America, and it's about essentially this girl gets wrapped up in realizing that folklore is real. And the whole game is about trying to get her mum back that she loses in a storm. And the whole game is kind of like I'd say, sort of Alice Madness Returns mixed with Uncharted sort of vibe, where it's like very linear. It's a linear story going through weird worlds with like, you know, some like fun hack and slash gameplay as you go through. And the reason I brought it up is because, to me, this is again, I probably need to play this game again. Is I only completed it as of 2 a.m. last night. The story is fantastic, and the animation is fantastic, but the gameplay is a bit repetitive, and it kind of like hits a wall where you're kind of doing the same thing over and over again. But the art style was so interesting that kept me through it. So what I was going to ask was is there any piece of art that you guys have consumed recently or have in your life that one part of it is so good you can kind of ignore the weaker aspects of the rest of it?
Ethan, that is an excellent question. The questions you ask always leave dead air because I have to sit there and think about it.
Hell yeah. Again, it was just me going, I engage in media. Look at me, Phil Spencer. I have a Game Pass membership. I play everything.
Okay. I'm going to need a moment to stew on that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's not me saying I didn't enjoy South of Midnight. I fucking adored it, and it's my contender for Game of the Year. But the way it looks and sounds, like the music and the animation, the combat could be like absolute horseshit and be the worst feeling thing ever, and I'd still give it a 7 out of 10 just for how good it looks.
Okay. I'm putting a moratorium on myself, and I'm not allowed to say the Minecraft movie because I can't talk about that 2 weeks in a row. Come on, baby.
Kiera, is there anything that comes to mind for you?
I still think The Simpsons hit and run is where gaming peaked.
Oh, you're right there, though.
My parents bought me The Simpsons hit and run on a pink PS2. Nothing more girly pop than being a bad driver on a pink PS2.
Hell yeah. Nothing like finding Wiggum and just kicking him till the police came.
That's iconic.
All the time.
I would make my profile picture, or I didn't even know there was a pink PS2. It doesn't surprise me, but I didn't know it existed, and that would be all my profile pictures. Just a picture of a console with like flowers around it. Yeah, that'd be me.
Yeah, I treasured that pink PS2. But yeah, as I was saying, I'm a very casual gamer. Lockdown for me was 1,500 hours of Skyrim, and probably about that again on Animal Crossing. And a little bit of Assassin's Creed 4.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking media that we've put a lot of time into, what we've sunk a lot of time into, despite its apparent flaws, it's got to be Skyrim, because that game is deeply, deeply flawed. But it is a wonderful experience, and I've dedicated half my life to it.
Oh, I love it so much. The amount of horses have just clicked out right when I need them. I was like, never mind. Alduin once clicked out on me, and I was like, well, what do I do now?
The first time I was
just in Southern Guard with this wailing choir. Like, what the fuck do I do?
I had the exact same experience, because the first time I spoke to Alduin, I was just staring at a rock for the entire time, clicking dialogue options, because he'd glitched out and he was just flying around my head, like only half paying attention to the conversation.
That's having a conversation with anyone with ADHD that I know at uni.
Yeah.
They just flip out and disappear halfway through.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
I
dude.
sometimes I literally get distracted by pretty lights. It is difficult.
On the lighting design, I get distracted by pretty lights. If I find like a really cool blend or like effect or something, I will. If I'm on my own, just plugging, I will just sit stare at it for 10 minutes like a baby sensory video.
Like the dancing fruit, like wow.
It's like that. Yeah, I did a concert last weekend, and it was a space themed concert with a 60-piece symphony orchestra, and it was so cool because my colleague at the uni was doing the lighting and projection, so we had like Jeff Wayne's War of the World and Star Wars and themes from Star Trek playing, and she synced projections with like matching coloured light as this orchestra was playing, and the choir was oohing, and I was sound leveling. I almost forgot to bring someone in because I was too busy like staring at this like not quite 360 like lightscape of space as the symphony orchestra were just going for it.
I mean, I don't know how the fuck I'd be able to concentrate, like watching it in general, let alone like, you know, being a part of the production of it. Oh wow!
I think it was amazing. But it's that thing of I sort of delulued my way into this job. So every so often I have to remind myself that I delulued my way into this job and do it.
I know John Williams. Don't ask me how.
I'm blown away that you know the expression delulued. I love that. That's
I'm not from 1875. I know I seem like it, but I'm not.
I'm like, how do you know those funny words, Grandma?
Dude, I delulu my way through life. Come on now.
So, I have to say, I think it's really interesting earlier, Kiera, that you described yourself as I quote a casual gamer, and then dropped that you have 1,500 hours in Skyrim.
That's
because I've done a story playthrough. You know, you do your like stealth archer playthrough, then you do your playthrough, and then you do whatever. And I did Farmer Greg. Farmer Greg was the favourite playthrough I ever did.
Were you just a farmer called Greg?
You're just so in the 10th anniversary DLC that my husband got me as my birthday present, there's all like there's the expanded backpacks and the mounts and some of the other like popular quests and stuff. And there's one where there's like a little homestead outside of Roexstead.
Yeah.
So like, you just like punch the ghosts and solve like the mystery of that and whatever. So what I did is I did just that quest. As soon as I was out of Helgen, I was out of there. I didn't go to Whiterun. I went straight to this homestead, and I clocked about 150 hours being a farmer.
This is genuinely true. I have put certainly over 2,000 hours into Skyrim over the course of my life, and I have never once completed the Civil War storyline. Never once. It just. I've done the Thieves Guild like 3 times and different save files, but man, the Civil War thing just does not grab me, and I cannot make it. Am I insane? Should I go and do it?
I've done the neutral one where you don't join either side, and there's a one where you don't join either, and you all go and have a very big meeting with the Greybeards, and it's very boring.
I think this is like my blasphemous gamer a part of me, but like I think with Skyrim, I fall off it at around the same point every single time because I accept every side quest and I go and do every side quest as soon as it's given to me. That I burn myself out. That like I think I get to like the 3rd or 4th shower. I've killed a couple of dragons. I'm starting to move up the ranks in the Magician's College, and then I like play a different game for like 5 months, and then I come back to it and go, oh, I don't know where the fuck I am. I'll just delete it and restart, and then just rinse and repeat for the last like 7 years.
Oh dear. No, but I get that. That's the whole. I think that's one of the main appeals of it. I mean, it's certainly carried them through enough time to not release any new games. Apart from.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? This game came out. It came out. It was a new game for the Switch, wasn't it? Skyrim.
Sorry. Are we fishing for a promotion? Okay.
Todd Howard, I love your jackets. They're awesome.
Let me talk about games with major flaws. Kid Icarus Uprising is amazing. I don't know if you've played that,
Oh my
Kiera,
god.
on the
Oh
3DS.
my god.
I love
Oh
it.
my
It's
god.
peak. I love the gameplay. I love the designs. I love the voice acting, the music. The controls have shattered my hands for life.
Oh, the controls suck so badly. Have you played Kid Icarus, Kiera? Uprising.
I don't know if you're saying anything, but we can't hear you.
I can feel as if Kiera's like punching through a bunch of
Um,
static.
oh no. She's been
Oh
sucked to the
no.
nether realm. Speaking of nether realm, I'm currently enjoying some nether flame sauce. Some people say it tastes like petrol. I agree, but I
I
also like
like it.
drinking petrol.
Yeah, dude. I can say that oh, God. Yeah, Kid Icarus Uprising is an amazing game trapped on a console. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Tell you what, are you there, Kiera?
Yeah.
Okay, we can hear you a little bit now. Can you can you just very quickly find for me? I don't know if you've got a 3DS on you, but maybe not that, but just any small rectangle. Have you got one?
Something, visual medium.
Yeah, still can't hear you, but yeah, it is a visual medium. But yeah, audience at home, can you just find a small rectangle for me?
Audience at home, if you listen to this in the car on your way to work, just pull out your government mandated rectangle from your
Yeah,
car.
yeah, yeah. Any small rectangle will do, because some of the 3DS models are very small.
Yeah. Yeah, trying to play that on a 3DS was crazy, yeah. I'm not going to say what it is because that'll ruin your rectangle hypothetical.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Is okay, Kira, can you crackle if you heard that? Muted? You've unmuted. Oh. Okay, while Kira sorts herself out,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. Oh, wait, hello.
Hello?
There you
Oh, there
are.
we are. Hello.
We're
There
back.
we go. So,
We're back in the game.
luckily, conveniently for this bit, I do indeed have in my hands my husband's 3DS.
Oh,
Oh, hell
wonderful,
yeah.
wonderful. Okay, so hold it like you normally would, right? So the
Okay.
two index fingers on the side buttons, and your
Uh-huh.
two thumbs on the joystick, and
Yep.
yeah. Okay. Now, so the whole deal with Kid Icarus Uprising is that you sort of move with the oh, what's the name of the
Circle back.
thing? You move with the circle pad, thank you, and then you
Yeah.
aim. Then you have to aim with the touch screen. So,
Okay.
and you have to aim if you want to get anywhere in the game. So, do you want to just find? They want you to do it with the stylus. Bear in mind. Okay.
Yeah, it's a third person shooter on the Nintendo 3DS,
Mm,
the thing famous for having one stick.
yeah. So, if you can find a good way to make that balance, please do let me know.
It was so bad. I remember they sold the
Yeah.
game with a 3DS stand in
They
America,
did. They
where
released
you,
it with a
yeah,
special stand so that you could do the two things you're supposed to do at once. Now, that is not what I did.
it's a portable console.
What I had to do, because the stand didn't come with us over here. You have to crane your thumb over over the buttons so that you can use your thumb to scratch away at your bottom screen and then use that to aim. Okay.
Do you want to know something even funnier, Dan?
Do you have it in that position, Kira? You're not audible anymore, but I'd like you to do that for 3 hours, please.
But like, Just even worse, Dan. I'm fucking left-handed, so I had to play. Kid Icarus. I didn't have this touchscreen issue because I literally didn't have a stick to play it with. So my ass played it with the circle pad being my movement, and then the the face buttons being my camera. So I had to very slowly turn the camera up, left, right, or down.
Mm.
And it was also really painful trying to play a fucking third-person shooter on the DS.
Mm.
But yeah, I get what you mean. Beautiful
I
game,
was.
amazing game.
It was. I was 14 years old, and I had the fuck's gnarled crab hands of an 80-year-old. I don't know, piston worker. I'm gonna be in the care home, looking down at my wrinkled old hands, like arthritic and unable to do anything with them, and I'm gonna know it's because of Masahiro Sakurai and one of the best games I've ever played.
Dad, why are you staring at your hands? Lady Palutena did this.
It's because of Kid Icarus, not all of the gooning I was doing.
No, I don't know what that word means, son. Okay,
No,
Dad.
I don't know what that word means. I just see the kids keep using it.
Tell them off.
We're not gonna. I'll send you the Urban Dictionary link after this. I'm not gonna describe it
Tell
on
them off.
stream.
Please do not describe what that is. But it was kind of counterintuitive in the game design to try and do that.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, but that's Nintendo's entire ethos.
Every Nintendo Direct, I'm like, this is the one. This is the one with the Kid Icarus remake. This is the one I've been saying since 2016.
I mean, I got a text from my younger sister earlier.
Yeah.
I love it. And she texted me at work going, would you be offended if I threw out the Wii?
Yes.
I'm from the kind of family that my family have been playing that Wii since we got it in 2006.
Oh,
yes, a family heirloom at this point.
It's a family heirloom. And she was like, yeah, like it sounded like a Boeing 747 taking off, and it was just like none of the games were loading. And I was like, you do realize that they don't actually like support the Wii anymore. Like they don't.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny you say that because they do. Just Dance 2024 came out on the Wii.
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
The Wii?
Uh-huh.
It's get the Wii U, though.
I'm going to Google it right now just to make sure.
The Wii has seen more UK Prime Ministers than some of the children I teach.
Yeah.
Do you remember Tony Blair? The Wii does.
The Wii remembers Tony Blair. The Wii remembers the coalition government.
The Wii remembers the Wii sees all. I do. It is weird that we're getting to a point because we're all old and decrepit and our bones don't work. But like we're going to see consoles just stop working.
Well, I'll have you know, I'm actually exceptionally sprightly. But yes, it's weird to think that we're now at a stage where things that are perfectly normal to us as kids, it's like the Wii is like the GameCube, and people are like the GameCube, like that was our childhood. I know obviously they're now porting a load of stuff over onto the Switch too, and my husband is quite excited about that, and I'm looking forward to it because I can play OG Animal Crossing because that's all I want it for. Also, the new Mario Kart World. Yeah, you'll never see me again. That's where I'm going to be.
I'm happy to do a diversion to talk about the Switch 2. Oh my god, the price! I'm gonna ignore that. That's for Klarna to sort out, not me.
My husband came up to me and he was like, he turned to the corner and went, "Would you be willing to make a serious marital purchase going forward?" And I was like, "Okay, what are we getting? A new car because I beat up the last one by terrible parking?" And he was like, "No, the Switch 2."
The Switch 2.
Come on, Switch 2, baby. Come on.
Yeah, also, Ethan, Jack would like to know, but are you having beans?
What?
I don't know. It just did the chat. Is it, are you having beans?
What the fuck is this guy saying to me? Beans? Do I want beans?
No, this is not at all stream related, but are you having beans? I don't know what it's all about. Are you having beans?
Are you? I need to know.
I'm very fascinated about the bean saga. But it's also a clever diversion because it means that Ethan's not going to talk about the Switch too.
Very clever. That is a perfect segue because he would be there for a long time. We've also
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
also very excited, but
the original question.
Jack's not on the pod. He doesn't get a question this week.
Yeah, no. Are you having beans? Is a good question to bring to the podcast.
It's a very good question. It's a valid one.
Sorry, my Discord crashed the moment beans was brought up.
I think I may have been wrong about Just Dance 2024. I think someone may have added that as a mod, but
Damn, spreading misinformation. We're just
I'm
like
ready.
mainstream media.
Should I do my question? Maybe that's it.
Yeah, you do your question.
The guest goes last as courtesy.
Yeah.
Okay.
The best for last.
Oh yeah. So.
Oh, also, before you speak, Dan, I just want to say this now. Donkey Kong Bonanza is going to be my game of the year. It doesn't matter what else comes out. Kid Icarus Uprising 5 could come out this year, and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, okay, but are you having beans?
I don't know. Yes.
Okay, well, let Jack know that, not me. Okay.
Oh yeah, good point.
So
let me.
Now I've tailored this one. I've tailored this one specially for you, Kiera, because I'm such a good and professional host who understands how microphones work. Okay. So, have you heard of a little piece of Australian folklore called
Okay.
a little monster by the name of the Yaramayahu?
Okay.
Have you heard of that, Kiera? You've gone silent, so I'm going to assume you have not. The Yaramayahu.
Is this stream just going to be you asking people, like, instead of Monkey D. Luffy being like, join my crew, it's, have you heard of this monster?
No. Well, it's one of my personal favourite cryptid monsters. It's
Okay.
from it's not a piece from folklore from Australian natives, and basically it's like a tiny little red, like the color of blood. Sometimes it's like frog. It's like a little frog guy, or it's a little bald man. But essentially, it lives in fig trees, and it's got suckers on its fingers, and it jumps down and it eats people whole.
Mm.
I don't think. No, it doesn't. Sorry, it doesn't eat them whole. It sucks all their blood out. So it's like It's basically people call it like an Australian vampire monster, but except it's not sexy like a vampire. It's just a tiny little red guy that lives in fig trees and sucks out your blood.
Okay, let's speak for yourself, each their own.
Yeah.
Just as you were describing it, and he said, have you heard of a monster? And I only heard the end, and I genuinely thought you said, have you heard of Benjamin Netanyahu?
No, God, no. No.
He is a monster.
Nothing like
And then
he
I was
is.
like, oh,
It's true. No, I'm talking. I'm
but
not
yes,
talking about Benjamin.
We're not talking about Benjamin Netanyahu, but yes, I actually have heard of that one. There's some great ones from Australia because, like, you understand why it was sent up, like, you know, it was a criminal colony, so of course there was loads of weird stuff in Australia.
I believe it comes from, and I don't think, I'm not sure that they care for the term Aboriginal, but it's from Aboriginal mythology, not
First Nations.
Yeah, first pardon.
So a lot of Indigenous groups, such as in America and Australia, they like the term First Nations.
First Nation. Thank you. I am corrected. I think the idea is it's supposed to like warn little kids about, and I could be talking out of one of my holes here, but I think it's supposed to warn people about drop bears. I think that might be part of the idea, so people know not to like hang out under trees because, you know, koalas will jump on your head and kill you.
And give you, or give you chlamydia.
Or give you chlamydia. I don't think it's either or. I think it's just they can give you Anyway, so the crux, the thing I'm getting to is, like, what's your cheat meal?
What's your cheat meal? Talking about this First Nations folkloric horror, what's your cheat meal? Well, mine's human souls, but if I can't get human souls...
yeah, dude. To stew them up?
Yeah.
Like a
What's
fucking
your
roux with
cheat meal? That's what I want to know.
them?
But what am I cheating at?
Yeah, but like
Guilty
what are we
pleasure meal?
talking?
Your guilty pleasure meal.
Oh, easy. Kebab. Big kebab.
Really
You know?
big kebab guy, so I can't
You know?
comment.
No, I'm not really a big kebab guy.
Oh, dude, mixed meat, have everything with all the salad as well. Right. All of these fucking bold English twats who are like, I love you fucking kebab. But they don't get it with salad. They're heathens. They're wrong. Because, like, the salad part of it, it's like I usually get everything except I don't like whole like jalapeno peppers. I prefer them sliced because having to take the stem out
Well,
to
who
biting is
eats them
annoying.
whole?
No, but like that's an option that they'll just like drop whole jalapenos on in your kebab. But having the
As a
salad like
garnish.
that's the thing. That's the thing that like the meat is like really really salty a lot of the time and quite heavy. It's like having the salad counteracts it. Cover that in like I don't know what its legal name is, but it's just labeled special sauce. So put that all over that with some chips. That's my cheat meal. Boom. I'll usually have it while I'm watching like a 7-hour video of a YouTuber talking about a game I haven't played before.
Mm.
Dude, I love me a big kebab, man. Maybe not as exotic as human souls, but
It doesn't eat souls. It drinks blood.
no. As in Kiera's cheat meal was human souls. If you were
Oh, I'm
listening,
so
Dan.
sorry. You're right.
Yeah, damn.
Mm.
So we've got human souls. We've got a big kebab. What's your cheat meal, Daniel?
What's my cheat meal? Okay, you know in Breaking Bad,
Okay, here we go.
okay, so no, we're getting good here. You know in Breaking Bad when Jesse makes some egg, he makes some egg in the glass pan. It's a very cool shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Basically, it's just black beans and cheese and an egg. Uh I like to get some Doritos on there.
Yeah,
Put all
dude.
of that on top of a tortilla wrap, eat that.
Hell yeah.
And
Human
and
souls, kebab,
when I was in
Breaking Bad.
second year of university during COVID, I ate that like 4 times a week. The house smelt of black beans.
And Doritos.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and salsa. You can put some salsa on there too.
Do you know what? Black bean egg Dorito wrap don't sound too bad.
There's a name. There's a name for it, but I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, it's called Danny's Special.
It's it's not. It's something. It's a sort of Mexican meal, but like a heavily altered version of it. And if a Mexican saw me
Yeah.
making that, they would probably spit on me, and I would deserve it. Uh, so yeah, that's kind of what I like.
But to be honest, I would. That's not far off because if to the surprise of absolutely nobody involved, I'm autistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it took my mother 27 years to realise that. She was watching a documentary about Paddy McGuinness, and she then went, "Oh, so that's what it was. I just thought you were really weird." And I was like, "Okay, thanks, Mum." When I got my autism diagnosis at 22, I told my friends, and I was like, yeah, like she's correct, but she was just a bit late to the game. When I got my diagnosis, I sort of turned to two of my best friends from home and went, So I'm autistic, and they were like, "Yeah, dude, did you not know?" I was like, "No, I just thought I was an alien in a human flesh suit." And they were like, "Okay, do you want a drink?" But anyway, I don't like food much. Like, if I had my way, I would just drink tea forever. I would just have everything in liquid form.
I kind of fuck with that, actually. It's very much a thing with people with ADHD where we like to have multiple drinks on the go. Like,
they've got
a
the
hot
beverage
one,
goblin.
a cold one, or even like a fruity one. Like, that's how I like to party,
I currently am sitting at my table with a whole glass of orange juice and an entire teapot full of Earl Grey tea.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, that
and I'm just
hard.
bounding between the two.
Damn. I can't fathom that.
You've made me really want to go get my beer now because I've just finished my cold drink.
Go grab a beer, bro. I'll hold the fort.
Yeah.
You know what? I will grab my beer, but I've got a couple more segues, so I'll be right back.
Yeah,
party too hard without me.
Yeah, now that guy's fucking done.
We're not going back to the Switch 2.
No.
Just take that out there. We're not going back to the Switch 2.
Why not?
Because I'm already getting really weird stuff on my Instagram For You page because I follow you. I don't want to see any more of Shadow's tongue down places Shadow's tongue shouldn't be.
But it should be there. It's artistic expression.
No, it's not.
It's
artistic expression, but I have a perfectly curated For You page that it's tainted by Sonic taint.
It's very clearly autistic expression. Let's be real.
Yeah, there's a thin line between the way you say artistic and autistic. There's a very thin line.
Listen, at the moment, my For You page, not to bring up the Minecraft movie again, but my For You page is like homoerotic edits of Jack Black's character and Jason Momoa's character from the Minecraft movie, just like that being edited with Chappell Roan on top of it. Like that. That's my For You page at the moment.
Did you know Ethan is recently single?
Hell yeah, give me that.
That's a fun fact.
I'm sorry, shame.
Yeah, it's alright. Hey, listen, I love me some old man Yowie. Why do you think the Sonic movies are?
No, it's I was going to segue before I became very out of pocket into some of the just out like the most outrageous things mothers will say to you, without really like thinking about it. A bit like what your mother said to you, Kiera, about like always thinking you were weird. Or my mother once said to me, and she didn't mean this as an insult, she just said it. She turned to me and said, "You know what, Dan? I think your brother's going to be successful, but I think you'll be happy."
God. Christ alive.
Oh my
God. That is very real.
Oh.
Well, Dan,
I was like, and she was like, "Well, don't you want to be happy?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, but I'd also like to be successful."
That'd be nice. People who work in the creative spaces, that it's that thing of, well, you do you, sweet pea.
Oh,
and you're like, that's the thing. I was meant to be studying modern languages at Oxford, but that didn't happen.
Yeah. No, and
it's like, well, here's one for my gran.
Now we've got the Queen of Monsters on my podcast. Come on.
You know, and here's with
my brother's only getting his masters soon.
Grandma Kiera. Oh my god! It's like, that's the thing. I'm now at a base where people do go like, "Oh, go on then, Grandma," because I had to explain to them what an Ethernet cable was. And then I wasn't an Ethernet cable. I was like, "It's the internet," and they're like, "But the internet's wireless." I'm like, "No, it's not."
But how are you supposed to play Smash Bros at an acceptable frame rate?
Yeah, exactly.
I say that I don't have an Ethernet cable in my house, annoyingly.
I think we've got them in my husband's study because he's got the big, like, actual gaming computer.
Oh yeah, that can run. Oh, segue! That can run Baldur's Gate 3.
It can indeed run Baldur's Gate 3.
Speaking of Baldur's Gate 3, patch 8 is out in a couple of days.
Yeah, we are watching. Someone's got the stress test of it, and we are watching some of the things you can do. Barbarian looks fun.
I'm very excited. I wouldn't be surprised as like a future plug. We will. I think at least Freshly Squeezed will be streaming patch 8 probably around the day it drops.
Can I confess something? Can I say something controversial yet brave here on stream?
Yeah, go for it.
I have not finished Baldur's Gate 3.
Neither of
Yeah, me neither.
That's not controversial.
Okay.
I've put like 300 hours into it. I think over that, and I've gotten to Act 3, but I have not finished it. I like to get. I'm sort of edging myself. I'm sort of gooning myself on Baldur's Gate 3 because I'll get.
Right, I'm going to look that up myself. What is that word?
Don't worry about. No, don't Google that now. I'm getting. Tell you what, my description will help figure it out. But I get a little bit closer each time. I progress a little bit further on the game on each save file, and then I'm like, okay, time to start over again.
Why?
See what else I missed.
For so long. I'm going on Urban Dictionary.
Oh, okay.
I'm on the Urban Dictionary looking at
this. Is happening live, is it? Okay.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it written so formally? It's written like a dictionary. It's not like written like Urban Dictionary. It's written like a dictionary entry.
That's right, everyone. Just found out what gooning means.
I will say, for it to jump to the defense of your students.
What in the
no, to jump to the defense of your students, I would imagine they're barely cognizant of what it means themselves.
Yeah.
Why just paraphrase? What's the
That's like Patrick Stewart dialogue.
Because I'm trying not to. I'm trying to read it to myself, but I'm also not trying to say it on stream because.
Hey, we're a goon-friendly stream.
Goon-friendly stream. So I think I would like to read the Urban Dictionary entry for gooning. It is quite miraculous.
Don't worry, Kiera. I mean, I think you could say it out loud. This isn't your grandmother's Twitch stream.
Would you like to try that sentence again?
Nah.
So there's something
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Nah, this is live theatre.
Hell yeah.
Oh, boy.
Also, I hate listening back to myself, which is ironic being on a stream. Anyway, yes, going back from being fucking grandma nut over here to Mother of Monsters, I am going to pose to you a monster/horror adjacent question.
Yes.
Because amongst the 90 other million things that I do, I'm also on the writing team for an upcoming Freshly Squeezed project that is in the writing stage.
Oh yeah, Monsters Are Real, baby. That'll come out someday.
Yes, it will. And I've got 20 pages. I've got 20 pages of script. I don't know what you're on about.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, I write stuff on my lunch break, and I've just got a folder called Monsters ? And if it sounds kind of interesting, I either. It's also loaded from the rejects pile from my D&D sessions. Where I was like, maybe not. Like maybe that's a bit too much.
I'm excited to sink my teeth into that because I've never properly written horror before, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
Hell yeah.
So
I might have to rely on some advice from you, maybe.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to do some really good creative synergy here, and I'm going to marry my world, which is immersive horror experiences, and my background in being a horror actor. Was my first big acting job when I was a teenager, 17 years old. I got a job in a horror house. And we're going to bring it back to a little bit of the clown lore because
clown lore.
Oh, you've just stroked our ego in a very nice way.
which is funny because I usually charge that service. Anyway, so if you, let's just say you as your clown soners, were in a horror house, in a haunted house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's say, for all intents and purposes, a London Dungeon style experience where there's a performer and they do some sort of demonstration of, say, like the Plague or Sweeney Todd or Jack the Ripper or something like that. And you two, as the clowns, were in an experience like this.
Yeah.
What would you say would be the worst thing for Tasteless and Friendless to see in that setting?
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Like in a tailored experience.
So you paid. Yeah, it has to be sort of something that could appear feasibly in a haunted house. So it can't be something.
It can't be.
Something that
could be super metaphysical. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah, so it's going to be something that could be portrayed in a haunted house experience. But what would Tasteless and Friendless be like? Nope, and would hit the out button. What's your safe word? Nope, not seeing that as Tasteless and Friendless.
That's such a good question, because like I feel like the Friendless would pretend. For those who aren't in the know, I mean, everyone listens to this probably already knows, but these are characters from our clown series of shows, which are Everything Always and Everything Always the Memorial and stuff that will come out after that, and they're like bigged up versions of us. They're like if you take all of our attributes and you make them the worst they could possibly be, this is those characters. So I think Friendless would like have a lot of bravado, and he'd get scared by something because it feels personal, not because it's scary, if that makes sense. So like all the scary stuff would bounce off him and he'd be like, "Her, whatever." And then like, I don't know, a baby could be left alone in a room with no audio, and then he'd click the out button. Like a rocking cot.
This is difficult because my character's Tasteless is already in his nature very reactionary to sort of scary things, so it's hard to. Man, I'm trying to think about what not just what would scare him, but what would cause him to completely shut down.
Oh yeah.
Damn. Oh no. That question's too well tailored.
Oh, I've changed my mind. A lone gravestone with his name on it, like Scrooge. That would be Friendless's actual fear, I think. If he saw that in a haunted house, if it was a haunted house like made for the clowns, yeah, like no one showing up to his funeral would be the thing that scares him the most, I think.
I suppose what it would be if it's a very, very personalized experience, it would be all of the comments, all of the comments and like reviews online and things he's posted on Twitter. I don't use Twitter, but this character probably would. And like everything he ever thought he'd said in private, just posted up against the walls in a sort of fully exposing collage, and then it would just be open to the public as well.
Oh my god. Like The Shining, but it's just like awful opinions about the new Star Wars movie on the wall, and you know the kind of opinions he'll have.
Yeah.
Oh my god. He'd look like Wreck-It Ralph looking at all the mean comments about him in the second one.
Yeah. Or just his actual hard drive hanging on a string in like a hall of mirrors so that it's always around the corner and he can't retrieve it.
It's a projection. He can't grab it.
I realised we prefaced that question by saying that it's a reflection of ourselves. I do not have a dodgy hard drive, but this character definitely
Have a
would.
bloody hard drive. But that's the fascinating thing about horror, and which is ironic because when I was very, very little, I used to hate everything to do with theatre. So I used to be scared of the dark. I used to be scared of people in masks. I used to hate costumes. I used to hate people not doing voices that were their own. I used to hate mascot costumes. I used to hate anything to do with theatre. And now I write horror theatre, and it's this weird thing that when I go to write something like the immersive shows that I did, which you can read all about on the Freshly Squeezed blog page.
Plug.
Hell yeah.
I was sort of wrestling with myself going, where's the line between what's going to be an interesting scare for people and what's too much? And obviously working in a haunted house for 4 years, I did learn what works for some people doesn't work for others. And obviously when you walk through, there are lots of different things for you to discover, because some rooms were completely pitch black, some were dimly lit, some were very claustrophobic, others you were just kind of on your own. I was one of the smallest that we had, so I was often in the walls or the ceiling.
Ooh.
One year I was in the ceiling, dangling. It was about the width of a coffin, and I had to lie on my front with my arm hanging out of a hole in basically what was like the attic cat. And we had lots of other things hanging from the ceiling, and people would brush by my arm, and I just like put my hand on their shoulder.
Oh God!
So, bouncing off that, I think I've got a definitive answer now.
Okay.
What it would be is just a hallway of people's faces, and they're all engaging in polite conversation, but will not let him get involved. So they're always just they always go quiet when he's around, and then they're always, you can always just hear them talking in the distance, but they won't talk to him.
Oh, that's soul crushing.
Yeah, that's really soul crushing.
I love Tastelet.
Because I have watched the ones that are uploaded on YouTube. Because Jack was like, I need you to watch this rant about the Barbie movie. So I watched the Barbie movie rant. That's how I got introduced to Freshly Squeezed. He was like, you're not going to get any of the context for this, but I need you to watch this rant about the Barbie movie. So I watched it and went...
Yeah, sorry, carry on.
So I watched the rant about the Barbie movie, and I was like, I mean, it's a valid point, but it was so out of context. And I know the whole thing with the clowns is like this postmodernist theatre where it kind of doesn't make sense and none of it does, but it all does because it's all interlinked, but it isn't, and it's all very cyclical in nature. But then I did go and watch the show. So I thought, well, if I'm going to be on the Freshly Squeezed podcast, so I might as well go back to sort of the source material, as it were. Because obviously you've also had like the spooky episode as well, and this thing of constantly having to relive this same sort of Groundhog Day scenario.
Yeah.
But here's my one, and I'm going to be very honest with you. This would be, so for me, Kiera, the worst thing that I could ever do in a haunted house. And I don't usually tell people this because I got bullied for it at school. And it's part of the reason I watch your shows with the subtitles on and the volume down. It's because, yes, you might know this. I have a crippling phobia of balloons.
Yes.
Hey.
So my worst nightmare would be going to watch the clowns in person.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Valid.
So I've watched them on YouTube, and as an artist, I can really appreciate what you were doing, and I did enjoy the concept and your performances very much. But I have to watch it on a low volume with the subtitles on, which is ironic given that I do sound design. But yeah, I've always had that phobia ever since I was little. I can remember it because what happened. I think I remember I was like 3 or 4 at a birthday party, and one fell on a birthday cake.
Oh shit! Yeah, so it really went on.
Yeah, and also because I've got hypersensitivity in my ears, I'm really affected by sound. So anything that would be really disorienting with sound, very sudden, very like tight noises, like balloons popping. So for me, if it wasn't going to, like, not that I don't enjoy the clowns and your content, but it would either be going to watch one of your shows live with no, like, ear defenders or sort of escape route. It would just be... And this actually happened.
Especially in a small venue like in Camden, where it's a very small room. That's quite...
Oh, yeah. At least, like, in all the shows we've done in Chichester, the venue has been, like, pretty spacious, so there is places to go.
Yeah.
But in Camden, oh my God, like a tiny little black box room.
Yeah. But funnily enough, something actually very similar to what I would say happened the day of Little Snot of Horrors, which was the first immersive show I did at Oaklands Park House. I managed to rent the entire building for the day, just me, and then locked a load of nerds in and made some of them cry. It was great.
Oh, hell yeah.
One of my friends came up to me afterwards and went, I almost punched you in the face. It took all I had to not punch you in the face. And I was like, that's the peak review. If the audience doesn't want to punch you, then you're not doing horror right. But I was getting the venue ready. And we had, you know what Oaklands Park House, like the ground floor looks like, right? You've got the 3 big rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the show was split over the 2 floors. The first act was on the ground floor. The second act was on the top floor. And the main game space was the central room. On the ground floor in the room on the left, I was having as a puzzle room. So I had Jack Stone playing my he was like the walk around NPC. So he was in character the entire time, sort of helping to piece the story together. Because everyone who went had played different arcs of the story and were all pulling information together. And there was like a fake ritual and there were clues. And it was very eerie. But before I set it up, I opened the door, and there in the middle of the room, I was alone in this house because Jack arrived at about 11 o'clock. This was probably about 10 o'clock in the morning. Alone in this room, me, nobody else in this massive mansion, me and one of those giant balloons.
Oh, fuck.
That is the sword of Damocles, good lord.
Yeah, so I sort of stared at it and went, well, time to put the big horror pants on. So I walked in and my heart was going about 200 beats a minute as I sort of reached, I don't know what you call, when the tie, like the nipple of the balloon, I don't know what you call it.
The anus.
The anus, or whatever you want to call it. This is probably why I went so off the rails for this show. The amount of people who's like, I didn't recognize you because you were so, like, it went beyond performance and it was kind of like this thing took you over, is because I've been scared shitless only a few hours before, being alone in a haunted house. And I literally, I could hear my feet like creeping along the floor. I could hear maybe the birds outside. And I could just see this. It was one of those massive comedy ones. It was about the size of my dining table. It was huge. And I could just, as I was moving, I could see it tipping with the floor moving.
Yeah.
And I literally reached forward. I don't even like the feel of them. I sort of picked it up by the nipple and lifted it. And I think I held my breath for about a minute and a half as I walked it through from the ballet room to the tap room on the other side of the building. And sort of, it was just silent. It was just me rolling my feet across the floor because I was so scared to disturb it. Opened the door, prayed the door was wide enough, and literally placed it on the floor in the other room. Shut the door, used my master key to lock the door, and put a bar in front of it.
Wow.
Jack arrived about an hour later, and he was so excited to do the show because we've been planning it for months, and it was the first time people were going to see him as sort of his MVP character that everybody knew him for. And we've made a costume and everything. He was like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, great." And just and told him what happened. His face dropped. He was like, "Holy shit!" And I then cut to a few hours later. I was crying in the disabled loo because I couldn't get my contacts out, and my friend Eddie had to stick their finger in my eye because I was having a complete nervous breakdown. And then they looked at me and just went, "Maybe I should get your husband," because they just panicked so much because I'd the costume that I had for the big villain, who is this giant sort of white widow spider, and I made giant puppet legs of a spider that were attached to my own that moved.
Yeah.
So I had like a veil and a wedding dress and this giant puppet on like from my waist down. It weighed about 6 kilos.
Oh yeah.
But so it's this weird thing of I was about to entertain people with this horror experience, and something I've been doing for almost 10 years is being in that zeitgeist, but I had to sort of experience my own horror house because no one was, and there was nothing I could do. If it went off and I went into full autistic shutdown, there was nothing I could do.
Yeah.
I had my phone, and obviously security knew I was there because I'd sent my rider off and my risk assessment. Always make sure you send your riders and your risk assessments to your hosting house.
Hell yeah.
But it was the weirdest thing, and I somehow managed to channel that energy into the delivery, which I think is why it's become, well, within the group that I run for, kind of so famous, because not only was it was a big undertaking, and I'm so grateful to have had Jack and my husband who was also in it, and we also had a house manager because we were raising money for Child Pride.
Yeah, it was. I remember hearing all about this from Jack. It was so lovely to hear.
Yeah, because I was like, well, if I'm going to terrorise some gays, I might as well raise some funds for them while I'm at it. Speaking as one.
Reparations to the gays.
That's real as hell. Yeah.
But it was very weird, and I had a great time. But and then a very similar thing when I ran a second one at Halloween. It was the same thing of I was in this building on my own with eerie music and just me in a deconsecrated church for 45 minutes waiting for everybody to arrive because I was hiding.
Yeah, God.
Wow. Did I watch any? I was a Freeview household, so no, I was not au fait with Balloony. I think my grandparents are still a Freeview household, so you don't know who I did grow up with, the Bear and the Lion.
Callback! The callback! Oh, hell
yeah. You wear many hats, don't you? That is impressive.
I do, because the reason that we ended up, because we just ran myself and Jack ran a 2-parter for the group we run for, where we DM'd together, and one of the creatures was based on the Bear and the Lion, because we have joint trauma. I once picked Jack up in a Bognor Regis car park, and he was crying, and I had to leave him in my car for 30 minutes while I went and taught a student, and I wound down the window and gave him my aux cord, and I was so tempted to put a sign up and said, he's all right, he's got water, the aircon's on. And he was so upset, bless him. And I got back to the car, and I don't know how we got onto it, but we got talking about the Bear and Lion, and he just turned to me, we just in unison screeched, shit! And then went back to my flat and watched about 6 different versions in different languages. So that's my fault. I'm really sorry that I unearthed that about 2 years ago.
That sounds like such a vibe, though. A spooky vibe.
Yeah, man.
A spooky edition.
A big spooky vibe. Spooky edition vibe. Joe, I'm very proud of the spooky edition recap. I did a lot of. That took a lot. Not a long time to edit, but I was very proud of it by the end.
Yeah.
And also the whole spooky edition show. And we were losing steam near the end, so it was nice that this video is able to make it look like it was the best thing ever.
Yeah, shall we? Some of that got really heavy, huh, man?
Yeah, that's what we're all about. Listen, Dan, this is
what a good storyteller you are.
Hell yeah!
Shall we? Let's just take a
moment
to breathe.
Sometimes on Juicebox, it's fun and japery, and other times we get real. That's what Juicebox is all about.
Well, I mean, do you have any? I feel like we should do one more topic before we go into plugs.
Okay.
Talk about D&D for a minute.
You can
Kiera, have you got any D&D stories you'd like to share? I know you co-DM.
You could tell his ass was kicking his feet when he thought of this idea. You could tell Dan was sitting there rubbing his hands together like, oh boy!
I work in a technical theatre department. So I have a lot. I'm very blessed to have been asked into a lot of private campaigns over the years. To have run Stonehelm for so long. I'm actually retiring next week from Stonehelm.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Yes, I've eldritched a bit close to the sun, and the way I tell stories, because the group has grown to an absolutely incredible size. We have like 230 odd members now.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, for context, for people who don't know, do you want to explain what Stonehelm is?
So Stonehelm is a Dungeons and Dragons server that's based out of an independent nerd shop in Chichester that started with about 12 and now has expanded to over 200, and we have like a rotating roster of DMs, and it all takes place within the realms of one town in the middle of nowhere in particular, which means that we can go to Shadowfell, we can go to Feywild, we can go to wherever. But canonically, it all happens with these adventurers based in this little town called Stonehelm. And I joined in November 2022, and then sort of wheedled my way through the ranks to where I am now as sort of one of the administrators. But my personal and professional life are doing some very interesting things, and something had to give. And that thing is Stonehelm, and not out of a lack of love for it, but just simply because we've got so many people who want to tell stories, and I've sort of told the story I want to tell, and I've become the theatre DM as well. And that's not everybody's style, and that's absolutely fine. Everyone's got their story style, and I want to make room for new stories.
And like
it is, in my
it's
opinion,
a lot of work.
The best, broadest hobby in the world. If I could be
D&D,
paid for it, I would want to make it my job.
Yeah, I remember D&D was a thing.
I would find trying to administrate 200 players in the same world. Yeah, I'm not surprised that's giving. I'm not surprised that's giving.
I'm not alone. I've got a fantastic team of dungeon masters and fellow administrators who've been helping move everything along. But but yeah, it's been amazing. You know, I've met some of my best friends in all the world. You know, I've seen people get married and have babies, and like the whole we've lived our lives through it. So we've not, I'm not moving away from them altogether.
No.
Absolutely not, because I've still got things I might come back for and stuff like that. But
you're opening the door for the next set of people.
Exactly. But I'm so blessed to have so many amazing D&D related stories. From weeping openly in public, which I hate doing, but did it anyway. To the reason that I changed my name, because so my stage name is von Nettelbladt. That is not my real name. But it is my real name.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I have got a.
Sorry, I have a penis. Carry on.
I mean, I was hired for the diversity, so
Oh yeah, we didn't call it out.
You've got your diversity hire.
Presenting person on the podcast.
Yeah, it's assigned hole at birth. As I once heard it described that, and I was like, cool, I'm using that. But it is part of my legal name, but it's not my full name. There are people here who know my actual government name.
Yeah.
But my stage name changed. Yeah, because there are people around here who have my bank details.
Yeah.
For no particular reason. But the reason that I changed my name to that, and I told the DM that I'd changed my name on, actually I told them on my wedding day, and they cried, was because it wasn't a Dungeons & Dragons game, it was a Call of Cthulhu game, which, if you're not familiar, is a D100 system. It's a percentile system.
Yeah.
And it's all very spooky. And the very first character I ever created for a tabletop RPG was in lockdown, and her name was Louise von Nettelbladt. Louise von Nettelbladt is a horrible person.
Like the clown.
She's horrible. Also, if I were a clown, my name would be Voiceless, but that's for a completely different reason. Anyway, so Miss the OG. Well, yeah, that would be my clown name. Anyway,
I,
she's a terrible
I
person.
encourage clown OCs all the time.
Hell yeah.
Yep. So I would probably be Voiceless the Clown because I am a perpetual yapper. As you can tell.
Yeah. Also, the
That's
amount
why I'm on a
the
podcast.
amount of balloons popping would send you into a shutdown.
Yeah, exactly. It's the only way you can get me to shut up. Well, there's another way, but that's hidden behind a paywall.
Yeah.
That information is on a need-to-know basis. Anyway, so she's a horrible person, but we were playing this game, and we would play for like 10, 12 hours every Saturday in lockdown. And it was the game that got me back in touch with my two best friends in the world from college. That we spoke a lot, but it was a thing where we would just play for 12 hours. We did like the Masquerade episode. We did like the Exploring the Pyramids of Giza episode and stuff like that. And then cut a few years later, I was engaged to be married. And I wrote to which is very exciting. And so I messaged our DM and I was like, hey, I don't want to sound like a ham, but would you, we ended up calling it the hag do, because my bridal party are all gender non-conforming or, whatever. No one of any particular gender. But also my husband came in during a Zoom call we were having and he went, how goes planning for the hag, star, head, star, hat? And we all just went, hag do, hag do, hag do in unison. So it was his fault. So I messaged my DM and was like, hey, would you be up for running a one-shot as the Saturday night entertainment for the hag weekend? And they were like, oh, I was going to ask you if you wanted that.
Oh, that's nice. You kind of melded together.
So it was like a 1920s thriller set at a wedding, and the von Nettelblatt had become sort of an intrinsic part of the lore of this story. And there was like a callback, because I wasn't playing a Nettelblatt in this, I was playing a different character. But they were all sort of intrinsically linked into the story. And during that period, I also did a lot of growing, because in lockdown, I worked as a SEND TA in a secondary school. And that was like re-entering the trenches.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Because I don't know if anyone on stream could possibly tell, but I was bullied at school quite badly.
Don't worry.
I have a degree in performing arts. I wasn't bullied at school. I have a bachelor's of music.
I had a master's in screen acting. I was perfectly normal in school.
Two statements that have not been made together.
I have a master's in philosophy of 19th century theatre music. I am fine. But I did, I was working a job that I wasn't really enjoying. When I left, someone said, I know your heart wasn't in it, but your soul was, because I was seeing so many kids who were like me when I was at school, because, being perpetually bullied. And it was really gorgeous, wasn't it? So this Call of Cthulhu campaign was what got me through, because every Saturday I could just be someone completely different and also be horrible.
Oh yeah, 100%. Getting all your anger out.
Just be a terrible person. I might have burnt down an orphanage. It was fine. Whoops. We don't talk about Japan. We don't talk about Japan. We don't talk about Arkham. But we were so terrible. We were like this. There's these three little clusterfucks running around 1920s Europe. It was a disaster, but it was so much fun, and it allowed me to do so much growing as a person.
Yeah, that's the best thing about arts and stuff like that, isn't she? Yeah.
It's such a wonderful...
So you've just had a stream crash. I don't know if you can see it. We've got an error 5000 going on.
Oh.
I think this might be... Okay, have I refreshed it and it's fine?
Okay.
Oh,
alrighty.
Yeah.
It might be set. It might be going, bitch, shut up.
Tabletop
that's stream.
Sorry. We good?
No, I think that was stream telling me to shut up, not you telling me to shut up. Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Okay. Tabletop games are such a wonderful way to, especially with younger kids, I think it presents such a wonderful opportunity to teach communication and...
Oh, 100%.
Honestly, it's a hobby I could recommend to anyone, because you were talking about different DM styles, and there really is something for everyone, I think. Because if you want to be into the art side, you can be into that. You can you can soundscape it. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to have two wonderful groups. Ethan is in one of them, and man, it brings so much joy to my life.
Aww, that's
Yeah,
gay.
Yeah. Although
Jamie,
Ethan Webb, it, so
Hmm?
oh, he this young man here has
Please
DM
do
to
that.
DM. He has presented me. He has been a problem child before. So
I know what you mean.
I stole the concept of fun facts from. I don't know if you've listened to Dungeons and Daddies.
everyone's
Have you?
telling me to listen to Dungeons and Daddies, and I haven't had the time to listen to Dungeons and Daddies.
Okay. Well, they do fun facts at the beginning of each session. And I consider them canon, and it's a wonderful way to build anticipation for things I
Sorry,
might
I forgot.
include in the story, but also investment. This little cheeky boy, he has. I could pull up the Word document now, but he has included things. Oh, he's on the spot invented things like having essentially a TVA. If you don't know what that is, that's like a organization that monitors timelines from the TV show Loki. He's introduced that into my world, and I then have to contend with that and all the implications that come with that.
Well, to be fair, Dan made this choice by saying everything we say in these fun facts are canon. So to me, in my brain, it became a game of how far do you think I can stretch this before Dan says no? And he hasn't said no. So like,
That world,
it's not enough to be quite tame. Like, oh, I have a mustache actually, hee hee. And then like it went on to like I have 25 burgers in my pocket to like
yes,
accidentally creating a Sinister Six for myself by saying, "Oh, my character like pissed off this person 20 years ago," and Dan like made a record of it. To then like making a TBA, yeah.
oh,
Yeah, I've got one of those for Stonehelm, and it's quite staggering. But also, aren't you the person who invented the Santas of Brotan? Is that you?
Oh yes, that was
yeah,
moi. Yeah, that I
that
did
was
that.
him.
That was me.
He's very funny.
Because
Yeah.
every time Jack references it, he has to do the voice. He can't just talk about the Santas of Brotan. He has to like scrunch over like a little concertina and go Happy Tidings Day, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, yeah, because the current Santa of Brotan is Nikki. Is Nikki Lil Nikki?
Is any Adam Sandler movie, Little Nicky?
Yeah, that's where I got the name.
Sorry,
Oh
is
God!
the character Ape Moment canon to Brotan, or am I thinking of
Yeah, I'm. No, I think Ape Moment is canon to Ivarus, I think.
Yeah, I
I
think
could
you
be
are
wrong
right.
though.
Yeah,
No,
also I
I
can
Yeah,
didn't
only
say that.
apologise. Sorry, after you.
Sorry, I wasn't saying anything. I wasn't saying anything.
I can only apologise for the things that I introduced to him that he's now introduced into Brotan. I don't know if you've met them yet, but if you do, sorry, that was my fault.
it is. I do have to say that like playing D&D, I know it never was something I had as like a teenager. I knew there was people playing D&D, but I never was like curious enough to ask questions about it. So I remember I started playing it in 2020 in lockdown when good old Jack Stone was like, "Hey, I'm doing a Tim Burton like style campaign with my house. This is the first time I'm doing it. Do you want to join in?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever, sure, I'll join in." And it was like it was me, and some of Jack's housemates and my housemate, all the people I was living with in lockdown, and none of us really knew how D&D worked at that point. We didn't really understand the rules, and then that kind of spiraled into playing D&D more often, and then Jack
Yeah.
making starting his own homebrew world with Brotan, and then Dan and Ben joining in on like one shots, and then Dan and Ben becoming integrated into Rotan, and then I ended up joining their campaign. It's something that's like become so special to me, and like it's really weird because like I forget I do it. You know, that like, it's a thing I forget exists until someone says the word D&D or like a related word to a campaign, and then like the Winter Soldier, I turn into like a sleeper agent, like it's activated, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to make a Hero Forge model. I need to do this. I need to do that. D&D is so special.
I have pulled up my Word document. This isn't the full version. The full version's over 2,000 words. This one's over 1,000.
Where's my?
I would like to read out a couple of fun facts that I have. This may be interesting to no one other than the people on this call, but I'd like to read out a couple of Craxton's fun facts.
Oh, so for reference, in the world that I play with Dan, Craxton is a dragonborn. He's a small little dragonborn with big elephant ears, and yes, he's and he's a chef. He's an aspiring chef. He ran away from home, and he's going to become the best chef in the entire world. That's his goal. He's an asshole.
Yeah,
he's an awful person.
Monk.
Yeah, he's a druid. Yeah.
So, when Craxton was a little boy, he didn't know how to do a spell for a test, so he stole his answers, then sabotaged his classmates' answers. That classmate's name was Rogue Joe. Another one.
Yeah, I have to say, a lot of this came from like 10 minutes before I was probably watching TikTok, and then Dan's gone, do you have a fun fact? And I've gone, oh, fuck, I don't. So I just acclimatized the last minutes of my life.
Here's another one. When Craxton was a kiddo and going to a disco, he asked how to kiss on the message boards. Later that night, he melted Neil Middle-Age's nose off. This is the information he gives me. So not only do I then have to figure out how message boards exist in this world, but I also then have to figure out who Neil Middle-Age is and what they're doing.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, because I was making a joke about Neil Young.
I'll give you one more. What's another one? He started off as a sous chef in a pub called the Trickle of Piss. And then once he became head chef, once he became integrated in the pub, he bullied the previous head chef into retirement, and that chef's name was the Bear. And they were just a bear.
It was just a bear. The chef was a bear.
Just a bear.
Yeah. Figure out what TV show I just finished watching that week.
It was just a bear called the Bear.
A bear called the Bear.
Bear called the Bear.
Oh god.
So going through like weird lore things, I found the notes that I kept for the very first sort of story arc of Stonehelm. But this is back when there were like 12 of us playing regularly and not quite a few. And I just checked the word count.
Yeah.
22,775 words.
Ooh.
Jesus Christ.
I think my session notes are like that long, but good lord.
I mean, you've got to keep tabs on all 200 odd players.
Yeah, there was a lot of lore in that first season of Stonehelm, and so it was Jack's first time running for Stonehelm, and he did this thing with a villain called the Clockmaker. And as is my way, my characters kind of got a little bit tangled up in it. And this is another episode of Kiera pins Jack to a makeup chair and forces him to dance for her because she's bored. We decided to dress up as our characters, and I was like, well, you got to wear makeup. And he was like, can I just look really tired? And I was like, okay. So I bought a costume for him, and I did his makeup in the shop and everything.
No makeup.
The thing is, I was there like I was in a full like facial prosthetic, and he was like, "I just looked tired. Like, do you want to swap?" Because I look fucking exhausted. As a sort of an end of arc present, I wrote up the entire story arc into like a series of accounts and letters from various characters. I went back through the server and found adventure reports from other players. I put together a load of notes from the two characters because I was playing two characters at the same time, like alternating between them over the course of the story, and presented him with all 22,775 words in like brown envelopes, sorted into different things.
Ah, that's beautiful.
What an immersive experience.
Speaking of immersive experiences, I'm hopefully running one in June.
Hell yeah.
Segue, plug time.
Segue. Did you hear about the guy who rode the Segway off a cliff and died or whatever?
Dude, that's crazy.
Oh, is it Happy Wheels again?
Hell
like, I'm not judging. Happy Wheels is a great game. That saw me through like 2012.
It really
Hell
did.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a game to stream.
I would watch you streaming Happy Wheels. I absolutely would.
But could we do ones where it's like difficulty Justin Bieber or whatever?
Okay. Just before we go into plugs and wrapping this sweet baby up, going to bed like a good boy.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if there's anyone in chat. I don't have eyes on chat. Any questions they want to chuck in?
Any questions? Well, hold on. Oh shit!
In the meantime, here's another fun fact.
The last episode, I said that in the last episode.
Glitter feels a kinship with grapes. That's just
hell yeah. I forgot that last episode. I said with James, "Oh, could you make us a questions theme?" And he did one, and I forgot to extract the audio.
Damn.
We should make a questions theme. We should make themes. We should make musical themes.
That would grease this rusty old bike.
Questions. Come and get questions.
Do we have any? Any takers?
The audience here and there. Questions. Come and get your questions. Questions. Okay, questions. Here we go. Thomas Greyhound has a question. And he says, am I on next week?
Yes. Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Spoiler alert for next week, but we're having Thomas Greyhound on.
Yes, Thomas Greyhound.
Extraordinaire and my close, wonderful friend.
Yes, you may have seen him recently in our nearly 5-hour-long playthrough of the Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. By the way, that game should be done within 3.5. We got very distracted.
Yes.
And Mr. Jack Stone, friend of the channel also, has said, Kiera, which members of the Voiceless would torment Ethan and Dan? You may need to explain context.
This is real niche insider stuff. So if you're listening and you're not aware of what this is, stay listening.
Shut up. Do your reading. Do your homework.
Keep listening.
Shut up. Lock it. Strap on.
I'm not the only person who says strap in, strap up, strap on. I get looked at funny when I say it.
Lock in.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a great saying. I don't say it when I'm teaching the under 18s, but
yeah, that's called a harassment.
Yeah, I can't say that when I'm teaching. I'm teaching the chili weights. Anyway, so yes, I will gladly give context for this. So part of the reason that my clown Sona would be called voiceless, apart from running with the less theme of the clown, is because my homebrew pantheon of eldritch horrors, the ones that featured in Little Snot of Horrors and The Beast Below, which is my upcoming blog post for the website, are called the Voiceless. That's one of their many names.
Okay.
So you have the six-eyed beast. I have the Voiceless. They are a collection of fear entities, and they are fragmented into 5.
Okay.
So each one represents a manifestation of a fear of some kind. Now, I can't give away too much because my final Stonehelm game is next week, which involves them. And also they didn't actually find out all the information about them, which I find really funny. So I'm not gonna give it to them now. I don't care if I'm
Is
they're
Jack
not
in
going
this
to
final
know.
Stonehelm game? Because I feel like this is just his way to try and get some insider info.
Information out.
I'm on to you, Jack.
But yeah, so there are 5 of them. There's a mother and 4 daughters. So the 4 daughters are the mistress of agonies, the mistress of lies, the mistress of misfortunes, and the mother of chaos. She's a bit of a rogue one. And then there's the mother, who is simply known as the Weaver. The Weaver was the weird spider thing I was telling you about. That was her.
Yes. Yeah.
So she's the matriarch of this little pantheon of horrors. So the mistress of agony, she represents anything to do with visceral, actual pain and suffering. She's very akin to vampires and werewolves and sort of raging bandits and that sort of thing. And she's anyone who likes to either deal with or fears physical pain, violence, that sort of thing. She's the eldest of the 4 daughters.
Okay.
This is where I think this is the one where I'm not sure, because I think it's one of the next 2. The next one is the Mistress of Lies.
Yes.
She doesn't have a form. She's a shapeshifter, and she's very. You can never trust what she's going to say because you generally don't know if she's lying or not. She also, in the canon, can create doppelgangers that are in the greater lore are known as knots. So, for example, she could create a not Ethan or a not Dan to various levels of sophistication.
If she could make a kind of cross, I would be done for. That one would be.
Yeah, so she makes everybody question themselves to question the reality. She is the ultimate mindfuck. You would not know where you didn't know your head from your heart if you were in her domain. Because that's her whole shtick. Everything is to be questioned. Nothing is sound. Then we've got fan favourite, the Mistress of Misfortunes. And if anyone from Stonehelm is here, this is Missy.
Mistress of Misfortune sounds like a banger, like 3D like slasher from like 2008 on the Xbox.
It does a little bit. She does feel a bit pixel boobs, but I love her very dearly. She's actually based on Dollface from Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, that's peak.
I'm gonna see if I can do the voice without blowing my microphone. But she does it all the time.
It cuts out almost immediately.
Even my microphone doesn't like it.
Oh, hell yeah.
But she's whingy. She is Schadenfreude. She loves misery. She loves anyone who's a bit superstitious. She loves bringing about your worst possible, like, she's the being naked on stage kind of thing at the school recital. She's that kind of, but what if this happens? What if?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that would get me bad.
Yeah.
So that's I feel have art of Missy. She's awful, but she keeps cropping up. She's probably, apart from the last one I'm about to mention, probably the most popular in Stonehelm by the fact that every time I even like whiff at her voice, everybody goes, no, shut up. Because she was the main antagonist for the games that Jack and I just ran. And when I revealed her, the collective, when they realised who it was it's why I eat souls.
That would have been crack in my veins. That's not how it works, but
yeah. They got slunked into a haunted house where they didn't know what they were doing, and they just had to try and muddle through. There were no instructions. They just had to open doors and pray.
That's wonderful.
So there was one room that we did that we're very proud of. It was the kitchen, and there was a big black dog by a fireplace, and the only instructions were loud dogs get fed, hungry dogs feed themselves, and on the side counter was 6 meat grinders, and there were 6 players each game.
Oh.
So they could either each take a little bit, or in one game, one person just stuck the whole arm in and just took like 60 points of damage, and we all went, okay, we're flat.
It's alright, they've got spell slots, it's what they're there for.
It was great. So that's her, and then the youngest daughter, who's actually the first one to become the canon. We call her Leslie. She's the mother of chaos, and she is voiced by Jack. She's the only one I can't do the voice of.
Okay. So that's all known.
Yeah, I think you've heard her, Ethan. I think Jack recorded something on Christmas Eve under a duvet.
Yes.
That's her.
Yes, I remember that. I had just gotten back from Panto, I think, and I was like, Jack, I need to play Marvel Rivals. And he was like, I'm just going to be weird under the duvet. And I was like, okay, you do you, man.
Okay, I don't want to be in the room for it. Okay. Why are you telling me?
Sure.
You do your own thing, Goon King. Sorry.
He wasn't gooning, he was in fact recording my Christmas present.
And gooning.
He was not gooning as the tentacle monster. I promise he was not gooning as the tentacle monster. He was doing something very lovely. He asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I was like, basically I wanted a cameo from Leslie for Christmas, because she came about in the same way that all of the fun facts came about. She was a joke, because my first ever character in Stonehelm, he was a fathomless warlock, and there's a thing that they can do where they can summon a spectral tentacle, and it was, that's a weird comment, Thomas, thank you. And I said that she summons the tentacle, and everybody was like, oh, does he diddle the tentacle? And I was like, oh no, that's the missus. And then we made a flushed away joke, which is, the danger is my middle name. I thought it was Leslie, and then that's why she got called Leslie. So all the names of the horrors are based on like white women names. Because I called her Leslie, her like big eldritch oogly boogly name is Lezosgabug. So I built it backwards. So the mistress of agony is a Carathlin, Bredutarth, Shalag, and Lezosgabug, which are Karen, Brenda, Sheila, and Leslie.
Wow.
That's what they call that. But they never found out the eldritch name, the Weaver. So, and they never found out her real name. Wow. But she's the one they just never bothered to ask.
Wow.
They just called the Weaver.
What a
they found out. Yeah. So the Weaver is their mother, and they all share a little bit of her, and she is the manifestation of control. She's a spider. She weaves the web. She is that fear of you are not in control of your own life.
Yeah.
And the feelings that can come from that. So when you feel like you have no control, you might get angry. You look for reasoning. You try and seek truth and can't find it. You feel like you are falling through misfortune, or you resort to chaos to try, because Leslie is the mother of chaos. They're all to do, and it all comes back to her.
Hell yeah.
So I thought it would either be the Mistress of Lies or the Mistress of Misfortunes for you two. It seems to track.
Sorry to interrupt. Is this lore that you've published somewhere? That is just an open resource? Because it's really good stuff.
This is, by the way, just for context, Kiera, I'm doing D&D with Dan tomorrow. That's good. This looks so good. I wish I wrote that.
No, it's not that. Listen, I'm a sucker for lore, and that's some good lore.
Man, that lore looks so good. I wish that was in my
I just wondered if this is like part of the Stonehelm. Is that what you said?
Stonehelm, yeah.
Is this part of the Stonehelm mythos? Is this like open lore for this over 200 people to use? Forgive me if I'm getting.
Well, because obviously I'm clearing off. They're quote unquote coming with me, but the things that have happened and the stories that they've told are available to be read by anyone. There is a section on the Stonehelm server called the Archive, where there are various voice clips and accounts from various characters about their experiences with the voiceless.
Wow.
And they are being, so hopefully next Saturday, the final session is them getting rid of any final trace of the voiceless that might exist in Stonehelm. But that doesn't mean that I'm done with them for good.
So are you saying that they could travel to travel universes, mayhap?
Mayhap, indeed, they might already be doing that.
Wow.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, there isn't I don't know. I'm not privy to these conversations because I'm a hack fraud. But I do know that some of our D&D homebrew games, a concept of a multiverse is there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to pull a few strings with Jack Stone. Jack, please, it's really cool.
Please let us do that.
Jack, please.
Yeah, I wouldn't invoke that idea if I were you.
Okay. Is there anything else
because
you would like to plug?
Because they currently have beef with the Brotan horrors. They had a massive falling out.
Oh, hell yeah.
Anything else you'd like to plug? I know you're in
plugging time.
A certain show we may have plugged before at Chichester Fringe.
Yeah, so on the 11th of June at 9 p.m. at the Chichester City Arts Centre, Sibling Dinner is still on. The script is pretty much done now, by the way. It's fantastic, not to toot our own horn, but it's pretty goddamn good. It's something very, very special.
It is pretty good. And it's important to note that we are hosting an open audition for people who might want to do a little bit of voice acting work.
Yeah, so we are what the banks call skint, so we can at least offer you a little treat in return. So we're looking for male presenting voiceover artists just for not even, I don't think it'll even come to 5 minutes of voiceover that happens at the introduction of the show, and then a tiny little bit at the bottom. This is all the details of it are on our Instagram, but if you're listening now and you're in the car or on the train or in the shower or listening to this at 3 a.m. as like background noise while you're in Minecraft or something, if you're interested, give us a DM on social media, or you can reach out to us at freshsqueezeprod@gmail.com and we'll give you the slides. We've had some people talk to us about it already, which has been very, very exciting. And the closing date for it is the 24th. So once the 24th is done, meet up as soon as possible after that to go through it and officially decide who we're going to have. We may see if we can use multiple, and maybe layer them, make it creepy. We don't know yet, but
yeah.
Kiera,
I know you're in a certain project.
Speaking of voiceover at Chichester Fringe, that reminds me of something, Kiera.
This is where you blood stuff. Blood stuff.
Oh shit! I was barking up the wrong tree.
That's okay. We wanted to get the sibling dinner stuff out as well, so that's good. Wow, you've gone quiet, and that is the worst time you could have done that. It's not your fault.
No, it's not his fault. It's the microphone.
I'm talking about the microphone, not you personally.
Oh no, why is it going quiet again? Maybe if I speak really loud.
You're back.
There we go. If I actually use my degree in vocal performance and project, my mic will pick me up. Funny that.
Use your diaphragm.
Crazy.
Using that diaphragm. Hell yeah. So I'm also going to put a plug out on behalf of my not quite boss for the Welching Conspiracy, who are also looking for a voice actor, female presenting, who can play a little bit older, sort of middle-aged and upwards. We are looking for someone who will be available for the show, which is on the 8th of June, also at Chichester Arts Centre at 7 p.m. with a rehearsal the day before. You can contact Jack via the Welching Conspiracy Instagram page, or reach out to him directly for the sides if you would like to consider auditioning. It's a fantastic concept for It's like an audio drama. That's not quite a play. If you're both into that sort of thing, it's been a real pleasure to have been the script consultant on it and one of the researchers. It's been a lot of fun, and it's very different. If you've seen any of Jack's shows before, his trio of Self, which he wrote about on the Freshly Squeezed blog, it's a very different turn for him. And this is a very, very different turn.
Amazing, Kiera. Here's a time.
Thank you. I've also got one final plug. I don't know if this would appeal to anyone, but over in Eastbourne, on the weekend of the 29th of May to the 1st of June, is the Eastbourne International Singing Competition, of which I am a quarter finalist.
I heard about that. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. So it's me and about 60 other singers from across the world, all competing for cash money. And also some amazing performance opportunities and prizes. So if you or your nan or anyone who likes classical music wants just a weekend full of it, tickets are available from the Eastbourne International Singing Competition website, which is ebisc.co.uk, or you can search Eastbourne International Singing Competition. Tickets are available for all of the performance days. There are morning and afternoon sessions for the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and then the finale itself. And if you are an alumni of the University of Chichester, I work there. I run the social media for the official Thai Conservatoire page. That's me, sending out all those posts. Yeah. That's me. So do go and support our current students who are wrapping up with their graduate showcases in music, musical theatre, dance, and some pricks who don't wear deodorant all the time. I believe they're called theatre.
Please. Yeah, no, end of stream, end the stream, cut out, no, blur that out, cut
that out. Don't cut that out, please. No, don't do it. I don't want to lose my
people
job.
Smell great. We've had this discussion already.
They all smell. I work in technical theatre. I probably smell the worst.
Yeah.
In that little box, maybe.
In my smelly box. But do please go and support all of the graduate showcases that are going on. We've got a massive programme of stuff going on at the university. We've also got some of our theatre students who are performing at Chai Fringe.
Yes, I saw this. Interact Fest. I don't know if you noticed that. Interact Festival and the acting showcase is in conjunction with Chichester Fringe this year. As someone who was a part of both of these things, when I was doing my acting degree, obviously we did everything always in Interact when we were doing it. And
personally, my favourite run of that show. Really want to upload
100%. If people are listening who are interested in seeing Chichester Fringe, I cannot suggest Interact enough. I try my best to go there every year since I've graduated, and I get blown away every single time. Like,
it is the best of the best. Truly.
Yeah, like it's really lovely to see because we all came from this stomping ground. We've all made stuff within like theatre and musical theatre and what have you. But it's always lovely to see such amazing work still be made. Yeah.
So, and it's being supported by Chai Fringe. It's amazing. And I've got one final plug, if I may. This is not from me. This one is from my husband.
Yes. Oh, hell yeah. Good plug.
So my husband and I, we love the Moon Man. So my husband and I met because we were in an opera together, and we have only ever sung together, I think, twice since being married and being able together. But he is performing in Jesus Christ Superstar next month. With Benchmark Musical Theatre. So my husband's playing Caiaphas.
Oh yeah.
So if you like
the show, but that's awesome.
But yeah, it's looking to be a really fantastic show. Benchmark Musical Theatre are one of the leading musical theatre companies in the Southeast because they allow amateurs to experience full production value and do full-scale productions in massive houses that you might not get to do anywhere else. I've done the Hunchback of Notre Dame with them, and it was incredible to have bells that actually rang and to have a full cathedral set, and it was incredible. So their JCS sounds amazing. So if you do want to go and support, also absolutely chock-a-block loaded with Chai Uni alumni.
Oh yeah, that's what we like to see.
Which we like to see. So do check out Benchmark Musical Theatre. I can't remember where they're performing it, but it's Portsmouth side. I can't remember where. Which is running
that's
in.
enough information to find it. If you
Yeah,
can send
but
a link
annoyingly,
to
it's
us
the same.
after, I'm sure we can post
I will
that
put
if we
like.
want to.
Yeah, annoyingly, it's the same weekend as Eastbourne International Singing Competition, so I can't see it.
Oh, that sucks.
So go
Sarah,
forth
make a
and go
choice.
support
Anyone
Marathon for me.
who's listening to that, you could go see it in her stead.
Exactly. Or everything that's been said in this final. Let's call this section Plug Rush. Why not?
Why not?
Everything that you've just heard in Plug Rush right now, if you're watching the visual version of the podcast, well, it is a visual version wherever it is, all of this will be on screen with links to find it in the credits. All of this will also be listed in the description, and usually on the day of release of the edited version of the podcast, we will repost all of the links so people can go find them if they please. I'm planning on adding a highlight to the freshly streamed freshly squeezed down, freshly streamed Instagram page, which is the collection of all the work that our guests are going to do, from the very first juice box, which obviously was just us talking about sibling dinner, all the way to now. So yeah, if you're interested, which it should be because it's all cool, it's in the description. You thick-headed moron.
And you,
That'd be good.
and
So
on
good.
that
So good.
positive note, as I always say, it's been emotional. It's been beautiful.
It's been emotional. Thank you,
so
Kiera.
much,
This has
Kiera,
been
for
really
coming
lovely.
on. It's been truly wonderful speaking to you and
You've
getting to know you a
elevated.
little
You've
bit more.
elevated the quality of the podcast.
You've given us at least a chameleon more views than it would have otherwise.
Hell
So,
yeah, a chameleon,
a
a
chameleon.
Nettelblattelian,
Yeah.
Nettelblattelian.
So thank you very much, everyone listening at home. All two of you, I think. Have a good night.
Hang on. They've been getting decent views on YouTube.
Say now. How many times have you
Yeah,
watched
I mean,
it, Ethan?
I don't